I've helped many people walk into and through retirement over the years, and what I've noticed is if they have anxiety, it typically comes from two different sources. Watch on for an analysis on best practices for both. Hey everyone, I'm Andrew. I'm a CFA charter holder and a CFP professional who's helped ultra high net worth and high net worth investors for the last several years with their complex financial lives. And what I do is I take the learnings from those situations and I give them to you so that you can hopefully apply them to your own life. Whenever we talk about fear of retirement, like I mentioned in the intro, it typically occurs from two different angles. And to give an illustrative example of the first angle, there is fear because of financial unknowns. I remember a client once was 60 years old, wanted to spend around $10,000 a month, and they were just petrified at the idea of retirement because they didn't want to run out of money. The problem is they had $1 million net worth and they wanted to spend about 12% of their net worth a year. That math just does not add up, maybe unless you're Dave Ramsey and you believe his safe withdrawal rates. However, I think of a different client that had a similar spend amount, was a similar age, but had a net worth of around $10 million. Yet they had the same fear. They were scared of running out of money. And with this client, I could have literally told them, bury your money in the backyard and just take it out when you need it and you'll be fine. The way to solve that problem is through education and iterating a plan multiple different ways. Because if it's a financial issue, understanding the outcomes from your input process either tells you, with situation one, I have to make some trade-offs, such as I need to retire at 65 and then I have to work part-time and I can only spend $7,000 a month. Or in situation B, or in situation two, I can take as little risk as I ever want to, and I can even increase the amount I'm taking out, and everything will be fine. The answer to the financial unknown, to the financial ignorance problem, is doing the hard work of creating a full financial plan that embodies your family values and financial goals. And what do I mean by that? Let's parse that out. When I say family values, it means the things that you care about are represented in the plan. And the things that you care about, such as investing in the education of my grandchildren, stewardship. And from those meta values, you can link in on some goals for your plan that have finances tied to them. But the way to solve the issue if you don't have enough money, or if you have more than enough money, is to still do the work from a financial perspective. Now, the second reason I typically see people have anxiety whenever it comes to retirement time is just the emotional toll it takes from having worked for 30 to 40 years and having most likely been very good at what you do and feeling like you're turning it off. And now there's going to be a void. And is that going to be okay? With this, my encouragement first would be to say, if you find meaning and value in your work, you just don't want to do it at the same pace, try to find a way to do it at a different pace. Maybe that's consulting, maybe it's working part-time, maybe it's saying you're retired, but every once in a while taking a gig, or maybe it's taking no money, but finding people in the field you worked in and meeting them once a month for lunch to answer any questions they have. However, the people who want to do the same thing for 40 years and are still running to the office on Monday morning, that is the exception, not the rule. There are people like that that exist. That is not most people, and it very well may not be you. I've been in the room with people who have 9-figure net worths, and I will die on this hill because it's hard for people to believe me, but I'm telling you, it is the truth. What gives people with $100 million net worth meaning in their life, and what gives you meaning in your life, are many times the same thing. They're just way better at business and making money than the rest of us. If you look back on your deathbed, you most likely will not regret spending more time with your spouse, more time with your kids, more time with your grandkids, having those long Tuesday morning coffees with your friends, spending more time investing in the next generation at your church or charity of your choosing. Those are things that most likely you would not regret on your deathbed. However, there is risk of regret working another couple of years just to add another 7 figures to your net worth if it's not something that you are finding concrete value in at this point in your life. And so, my encouragement to you is, if you need to do the work on the financial side, do the work. Do the work. And if it's more emotional in nature, I understand it. And I've seen so many people who have been in your situation try to use fear setting to create a path that you have the least amount of regrets in the future. And perhaps that means continuing to work at the same pace and at the same level. But there's also a very large chance that it doesn't, and that's okay. Until next time, see y'all.